The year is 2007, and Halo 3 has just been released. I managed to get a copy and stumble across an interesting new mode called Forge. It's a new mode that gives players tools to edit and create their own maps. Now, endless possibilities flood my mind as I imagine myself creating the next great Blood Gulch or Zanzibar. Now fast forward hours of me exploring through the lens of a little orb and seeing how many tanks I can spawn in a single map. But I soon start to realize there's this feeling that it's difficult to create something that feels like my own unique level. I write it off as a problem of limitation. If I had full access to every object in the game, then I would truly be able to create an incredible map. Well, let's move to present day. Level editors are abundant in games like Fortnite, Minecraft, and Super Mario Maker. But I always kept telling myself these level editors just felt limiting. Now, I have a game I'm working on called Lumina Rush, and I have full access to everything. And I don't have any excuses anymore, so I can confidently say, making levels is hard, guys. It's real hard. So let's talk. Let's talk about what makes a good level. One of the first things I did when making my own levels for my game was look up inspiration. I had drawn on games like Celeste, Super Meat Boy, and N+ for inspiration of mechanics and feel for my game. So I did so with levels. But I noticed when I tried to mimic a level, it didn't feel right. I had always strived to make a unique experience with Lumina Rush. But in doing so, I realized I had to design levels that highlighted that uniqueness. I began to realize a good level is especially unique to the game it is built for. It respects every mechanic that the game has to offer and strives to continue the feel that the game is offering. Super Meat Boy strives to be a precision death gauntlet, and N+ looks to be a platforming ninja dodging all manner of deadly traps. Maddie Thorson, the lead developer of Celeste, talks about how the levels and areas reinforce that feel of climbing up a mountain. By the way, this GDC talk is amazing. You should definitely check it out if you're interested in level design. But I realized Lumina Rush wasn't trying to be any of these things or have the feel of any of these things. The closest thing I can relate to the feel of Lumina Rush is snowboarding down a mountain. There is a clear and obvious goal to reach, and you can take your time getting down and getting there with as many stops as you want. And the first time you experience a hill, a mountain, a level, you're gonna take it a lot slower. But it's not until you reach the bottom in one continuous fluid motion that you truly experience the joy of it. And that's Lumina Rush. That doesn't mean I can't look at these games and get inspiration for an interesting gameplay experience. But when I build levels, I have to continually ask myself if the level reinforces that feeling that Lumina Rush offers. When I first started making levels, I simply looked to make a fun and interesting gameplay moment, and then string them together without any real goal in mind. When I did this, I noticed that levels felt confusing and off. Having a goal to what the level is attempting to accomplish creates a more clear and enjoyable experience. These goals usually start off like tutorial levels that teach a player a mechanic, like how to dash. They can then evolve into levels that introduce new obstacles, and even be levels that simply look to push the player in a new way. If that goal isn't clear to me as the developer, then the level probably won't be that great. Sure, it doesn't have to be so obvious that it's slapping the player in the face with what it's doing, but there should be a core element to the level that ties everything together. Maddie describes building levels with a small story in mind and using that as the anchor point to the level. With that, it becomes a cohesive unit rather than just a bunch of different parts. This also serves a way to ensure that every level feels fresh to the player. It's too often there are levels that feel just like padding, that adjust or add a single element for the sake of having more levels. If the goals of two levels are weirdly similar, then most likely it's going to feel stale for the player experience. A level should be designed and built so that the player has all the necessary tools and information to succeed. One example of this is that I've played platformers where you'll be forced to do a blind jump, where it's a jump in a direction without any idea where that platform might be. This almost forces the players to fail or get lucky before they can succeed. In my opinion, that's not really an enjoyable experience. Respecting your players is also about the level structure in relation to each other. Each level should be built off each other with an idea of what the players should know by now and what they don't know. This is doubly true for levels that are replayable. I have to ask myself, will this be an enjoyable experience for a beginner who is playing this level for the first time? And is this level enjoyable for the expert that is playing this level for the 100th time? Celeste has strawberries to collect for the elite gamers that look to 100% the game. I've done a similar thing in adding a collectible, and I've even gone as far as adding shortcuts and more advanced moves that are optional for the advanced players, while letting the beginning players be able to handle and enjoy the level experience. Knowing who is playing your game is huge, and respecting them as a player is critical in creating something enjoyable. Now, there's a lot that goes into level design, and I'm just scratching the surface, but these are some overarching thoughts I've had when I've been building Lumina Rush. Speaking of which, you can wishlist Lumina Rush right now on Steam, and if you're really interested, you can check out the Discord. That's all I really have right now, but if you liked the video, do the YouTube things and like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it. Well, until next time, see ya.